All right. Well, welcome everybody to our coaching circle that we're going to focus on network maps. And for those of you watching, this is a coaching circle that's focused on network mapping. I'll be the coach. I'm Dave Palladino. Jamie Latipo will be playing the area director. And then we have Luke, who will be the staff. Thanks, Luke, for joining us. And Kevin is our student at UW-Whitewater. Kevin's staff at UW-Whitewater. University of Wisconsin, Whitewater, that is. So thanks guys for joining us. So, also just, this is such a great experience to do some ministry together. And so just want to say a special welcome to Kevin. We're so glad that you could make some time to be with us on this call, and just want to see you as you're an equal in this space. And so if you have a thought or an insight, and we'll prompt with some questions, but we are here to help you answer God's call in your life and equip you. And so this is really about being helpful to you, and we're super grateful that you're a part of this, and we want to be a team that supports and enables that for you. So Jamie, could you get us started on a network map and help Kevin and Luke take the first few steps?
Absolutely. All right. I'm going to just drop in a link to the chat. Sorry that my email keeps going off. And let's create a network map here. And basically what a network map is, Kevin, is you thinking about all your different connections. And so I know school hasn't started. It's July 30th. And so it might be people that you know that are returning to school. It could be some group meetings or some text threads that you have going with students. It just could be like, I know I'm going to live in this place, but I don't know any names. Let's just sort of try and capture roughly your network in just a few minutes. So why don't you go ahead and share the screen and just start typing. And for everyone watching along, the reason I like having Kevin be the one who is sharing screen and starting to type names is because it allows him to own the process a little bit more. When you're in person and writing on paper, then he owns it because he's writing, he's creating it. This is the same thing, instead of having me type as he talks. So we'll just give you a minute or so, Kevin, to type. And why don't you put like names in one column and like the groups or something in another column, and I don't know, maybe your classes or something like that in another. So looks a little different than our drawn network maps, but that'll be okay. Perfect. And then, yeah, we'll just give you a minute to do that.
Wow.
Nice.
And then should I put people from like my hometown or people from I'm meeting at at my job this summer, or?
I like that.
Okay.
One of the unique opportunities is because some of our ministry is online, other college students that aren't going to UW-Whitewater could still be invited to stuff.
Hmm. Just trying to think right now. Sorry.
No, you're good. Why don't we just work with what you got right now? Why don't you tell us a little bit about the people that you wrote down?
Yeah. So let's see, from my honor society, those are just a couple people that I've gotten to come close in friendship with, from my freshman year through now. I'm currently a junior. In my dorm last year, I got to meet a bunch of people as well. And then people from my hometown, those people actually go to Whitewater from my hometown, so they have a chance to actually come. That's why I put those down. Then I don't know. And then one of the orgs I'm involved in too, there's a couple people I'm pretty good friends with in there. But yeah, and then I have my dorm room I'll be living in this fall, but currently I haven't met anyone in there yet, but I'm hoping to build a lot of friendships in there.
All right.
Nice.
Luke, do you have any ideas off the top of your head of like any other ways to expand the network map, or any questions you would ask?
Well, I guess I would be curious if there are any people from your classes this last school year that you would want to add in here. So you may not have classes with them again this coming school year, but you might still have good relationships with them.
Yeah. That's just off the top of my head there, but
No, that's
but yeah, I like that idea. And then also, let's see, and if I put down everyone, it'd be pretty long, but
yeah, but that's like
name.
in about 3 minutes, you put down like 21, 22 names. So that's really phenomenal. Oh, sorry. Who did I cut off?
No, I was saying it's solid. You're fine. Yeah, it's great.
Awesome. Well, let's start and kind of investigate who these folks are. So can you tell me, like, do any of these folks, are they a part of your Bible study or were last year? And who might be some of the non-Christians here? Do you know if any of them are Christians? And we can just kind of like highlight a few people.
Let me add another row real quick here.
Nice.
But yeah, let's see. Well, these are some people from my last year's Bible study. Some of the people I've had spiritual conversations with I can just like highlight in yellow or something.
Yeah.
See here. I was just gonna highlight that whole row up there.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And oh gosh. But yeah, okay, there's that. So all the people in yellow are people I've had spiritual conversations with. That doesn't technically mean that they're considered themselves Christian, but I've had spiritual conversations with them.
Okay. Of Emily, Elise, Ethan, Dylan, Megan, Jacob, Sean, Who of those consider themselves Christians or are following Jesus?
Let's see. So out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, Emily is a Christian. Elise is. Ethan is not. Dylan is. Megan is. Jacob is not, and Sean is not.
Okay.
So
Ethan, Jacob, and Sean. Let's
yeah.
turn them a different color so that we can
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good.
kind of see. All right.
So just as like a, this is really, really great. And as Jamie continues to help us, just a note to say that like one of the things that can begin to happen as we put names down is we get to ask these two really, I think, important like spiritual discipleship questions. One is, why has God put me where he's put me? And that's got like a double meaning these days, because it's sort of like, normally we think of that as a physical space that the campus will be at, but it's even broader now in the sense of like who you're connected to online. It can transcend geography. Why has God connected me to the people he's connected me with? So why has he put me at this place? And then why has he put the people around me he has put around me? And as we kind of move through this, we'll take some time to ask God those questions and try to do some listening. But Luke and Kevin, as you guys continue down this path too, just even making that part of our prayer practice to ask God to keep helping us see through his eyes. And that's what begins to emerge. A lot of times this can feel a little bit like a homework assignment, but really what we're trying to do is create a spiritual map that we can continue praying through and asking God to speak through. So back to you, Jamie. Just wanted to kind of make an interpretive comment there.
That's great. So why don't we do this? Let's start brainstorming what might be some possible next steps, and then let's just kind of go around in a circle. And so we'll get an idea from Kevin, we'll go to Luke, me and Dave, and then when we run out of ideas, we'll stop generating, and then let's take a minute to pray. And that'll help us take our final steps. So, all right. Kevin, do you have any ideas of like what might be a next step that you can either do with the people in yellow, the people in green, or the ones that you haven't had a spiritual conversation with, the ones that aren't highlighted?
Yeah. Probably the most comfortable will probably be in the yellow, just because I know them and I know that they are Christians as well. So mainly just for them, stay in close contact, check in to see how how they're all doing spiritually every now and then. Keep inviting them to my Bible study if they're not already going. Regarding people in the green here, that might be a little tougher, but not as tough because you already have. Oh yeah, sorry, I'm not right now.
That's fine. I'll jump in and do this part.
But yeah, and then people in green probably, and since you've already had spiritual conversation with them, maybe keep bringing that up now and then. Keep asking them questions about it and see how they're feeling, or maybe if they have any questions or so like why they're in the state that they're in where they're not quite there yet, I guess. And then the people who I haven't talked to spiritually, those ones are probably more of the scarier conversations at first when you look at it, but also the most beneficial because they really, so then you don't know if they are Christian or if they even know who Jesus, or if they don't even know who Jesus is. But yeah, keep hanging out with them, try focusing on them a lot, just so you can feel comfortable bringing up spiritual conversations like that and without them getting kind of weirded out or anything, just so it feels natural. With more of your classes being online this coming semester, you might end up talking to them on the phone more, maybe not as much in-person contact, but pretty much any way to like stay involved in their life. I would say.
That's good. Luke, do you have one or two ideas that you would add to the list?
Well, to expand a little bit on some of the things Kevin has talked about right now, I think that there's a lot of uncertainty about what this semester will bring and what it will look like. And so being able to check in with some of these people that Kevin's close to and see, how they're doing coming into the semester, maybe what they're looking forward to with the new semester, maybe what some of the things are that they're nervous about. And so I know that's one of the things he was mentioning early on, but I think that's a natural connecting point right now because everyone's in the same boat with that together.
Yeah.
And being able to offer opportunities for community could be really helpful for the people on this list who may be not having as much community this summer and maybe won't have the same opportunities this coming school year for community that they had before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you could like host something.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let me see. You could, we could identify someone who could be like a great partner for you, Kevin, and you guys could be reaching out together. So finding an apprentice. Be even better if like one of these people that you already know in yellow lived in the same dorm as you, and maybe you guys could like kind of take on this socially distanced COVID ministry together and be partners.
Yeah, I like that idea.
You could also host, I'm going to improve upon the opportunity for community and say maybe you host like a online hobby, like some sort of fun and then real conversation. And we have a tool that can help you with that. Dave, do you have an idea that you want to improve on or add?
Yeah, that's great. Thanks, Jamie. And could you scroll up just a little bit on the screen so it's
Yeah.
the bottom is a little more in view too? That would be awesome. Yeah, so, and I love what we're doing here too, because a lot of times some of us are really good from like the initial idea, but then, we're doing this kind of thing. It's really helpful to go back and build on people's ideas. And that's kind of what I'm going to do a little bit. So I love how Jamie built on create community and opportunity for connection. I wonder if you were to grab some people that you have some trust with, Kevin, from last year, maybe even do some listening prayer together about each of your mutual non-Christian friends. And then is there something community-wise you could all do together? So maybe there's a thought-provoking movie or a documentary that you could do a watch party with. The other kind of cool thing, I was listening to a podcast on connecting digitally, and the person was talking about this would be more like something where you wouldn't all have to be online together, but you share like playlists or songs that curate like different things that explain part of your life. So it's kind of a 3-song story, like these 3 songs represent me in middle school, or these 3 songs represent my questions when I was in high school. It's more playful and fun. So and then you could come together and talk about it and have feature one person, and it's a way of building trust that could lead to like deeper spiritual conversations. So yeah, that's some of my thoughts.
You want to jump down and put in your last idea? I'm not sure exactly how to nest it.
Sure, yeah. I can,
Thank you.
no problem. Yeah.
Let's, once Dave has a chance to do that, let's just take 30 seconds and listen and actually ask Jesus, what might you want to do now, July 30th, that'll help you gain some momentum or some good next steps into the fall. Luke, is that something you'd want to lead, or do you want me to lead that?
I can leave that.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we're just going to take some time and listen and then debrief, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, let's take some time and ask the Lord where he is leading and what types of things he is directing you toward right now, Kevin. So Lord, we know that you have put each of these people in Kevin's life for a reason, for him to have opportunities to have conversations with them about you and to have God moments with them. And we ask that you would be guiding us, that you'd be guiding him as he considers what next steps he should be taking. And we pray that you would give him clarity as he moves forward with sharing you and inviting other people into the community that you are building on campus. We pray this in your name. Amen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Kevin, are there any things that were coming to your mind as we were praying?
I kind of thought about how with kind of what we're all going through right now and not having the community that we'd like, that every chance I get that's like in person is very important, and that just reaching out, like I'm not someone who normally like reaches out that much. I don't like text people that much, but I feel like that doing like something small like that now is very important, because so you aren't able to have that in-person talk. And I also thought maybe like a group chat, maybe on like just of your friends, like just so you can get to talking more, and just maybe like people in your dorm, or like just all your friends that are in common there. I thought that might have been a good idea that I was being led to.
I like that, Kevin, because I think like for a lot of people, I think there's actually like kind of latent grief going into the school year. Like there's things that they just maybe are in denial about, and hopes that, maybe they're really hoping to be back in person, and just like warming up the connection and getting back in touch, I think would naturally begin to make pathways for deeper conversations, and even like getting a feel for where people's needs are. And so that's really good. And a lot of people haven't talked to friends from school, or, it's been, those things have gone a little cold over the summer. Yeah.
The sense that I had listening prayer was that, like, what I saw was like little seeds now, and it was blossoming into just something amazing over the course of the semester. And so I wonder if that really is from the Lord, like these little piece of connection now that would bear much fruit as you move into the school year.
Nice. How about for you, Luke?
I have this sense that the Lord knows what each of these individuals needs, and that putting the connections together that he has is not a mistake. And so I guess the word that I was receiving more so was to go with confidence as you are investing in these people, Kevin, because the Lord has been preparing the way for this.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's great. Yeah, and I I think somewhat similarly to what you guys have been sharing, I just had the sense that like, you don't have to do this alone. So like, even as you think about like a person that could be your partner, prayer partner, or just, you know, saying like, let's do this together. Or, you know, if you do end up wanting to kind of form something like that, God wanted to help support you and not to feel like it's all on you, that other people have similar needs and can help, you know, so community. Yeah. Well,
If you want us to like land it and say, you know, there's a lot of names here. 22 names is hard to follow up on, but who might be the few people or one person, depending on what you're feeling, Kevin, that you would want to reach out to this week?
yeah, that's great, Jamie. So yeah, what Luke, can you help Kevin kind of think about what a bite-sized piece might be for this week?
Yeah. Are there any people on this list that, not like the 22 names that are here, Kevin, that you're already in communication with?
Yeah, there's pretty much people from university and previous years dorms, because those are the people everything in this row and this row and this row I'm still in contact with pretty closely. The classes, people from my hometown and the honor society are a little less frequent.
So I wonder if it would work to pick a couple people, maybe 2 people from the list of those you're not in contact with as much, to reach out to this week and see if you can have a meaningful conversation. Whether it's over text or some other method, but picking a couple of those and intentionally maybe picking someone that you know isn't a Christian as one of those people.
Yeah.
That's great. So as we move to wrapping up here, good job, Luke and Kevin and Jamie. As we move to wrapping up here, just for those of you watching this video, I think you begin to see the potential of the network map, because now we've got places where we could work with Kevin and Luke on the next meeting, and maybe work on like crafting an invitation and win some invitation to something. We could begin to build like some follow-up stuff and build on some ministry events that that these folks could get invited to and then kind of see their experience of. So the network map really is kind of the launch pad to lots of the other skills that we'll practice together. We'll move to debrief here in a second, and I'll start with Luke and just ask Luke, like what you felt like you learned through today's coaching circle around network mapping, and then we'll ask Kevin and then Jamie. Jamie, is there anything else you wanted to do before we debrief? Okay. Yeah. So Luke, what do you feel like God's been teaching you, and what have you been learning through doing this network map together today?
Well, I think one of the things is that even though we're still in the middle of the summer and we haven't met any new people yet, there's still a lot of people on Kevin's list. And there's still a lot that can be done right now before he comes back to school to reach out to them. And so I think having the visual of that was really helpful.
Nice. Thanks, Luke. How about for you, Kevin? What do you feel like you've been learning about network maps through this time?
I feel like that God really put on my heart that I've been kind of slacking a little bit on the people who I should be reaching out to. I feel like the moment that we're in, like we just kind of think that like everyone's kind of like the same boat as us, and no one really is reaching out to each other. So there has to be someone to reach out first. So I think just reaching out first, trying to think about more possibilities for kind of going into the fall. Some of those like connection stuff too. I think that was very important.
That's awesome. Thanks, Kevin. Yeah, it's really good. And Jamie, as you're kind of seeing the ministry system here, what are you learning as an area director, from an area director's view?
So I think the thing that was most palpable to me is that just a couple small steps now actually really helps build some momentum for Kevin as he moves into the fall. And this was a really simple 15-minute thing. And then the other thing is that this is just Kevin's network map. Like I could imagine doing this for small groups of people, like a small group or a chapter, and just the type of momentum that might bring and sense of hearing from the Lord. That's so powerful in these couple weeks before school.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, this is great. And this gives us such a great platform to keep building on. And, as we keep going, like I said, there's opportunities for invitations. We can begin to look at 5 thresholds in people's journey to faith and kind of figure out what kinds of things make sense based on where we think they are, as well as like inviting Christian friends more deeply into the mission and the things that we're doing. So great springboard for what we can continue to talk about, and really appreciate you guys jumping in. And Kevin, thanks so much for opening your life to us and your honesty. One of the things I appreciate about you is you're someone who is really honest about that the risk that you sense God inviting you into. And I think you really listen and you really count the cost, but then I also see you saying yes a lot. And I think God really honors that step of faith in your life. And because God's good and because he loves you and because you say yes, I'm excited about the things he'll do through you and already has done through you. So really grateful for you, and grateful for you, Luke, and your good coaching and staff work, and for you, Jamie, and your leadership. So thank you all for a great few minutes together, and looking forward to our next conversation. Okay.